All right, I wanted to go over the examples from the notes. Make sure you guys know what you're doing on these dichotomous keys. These are all taken from benchmarks and star test questions. And this is pretty much what you would see on a test. It would be a pretty simple version of a dichotomous key. So check your answers after you've seen how I've gone through these. All right, so this one says a student uses dichotomous key to identify the winged insect shown below. Using the dichotomous key, the insect is correctly identified as, and so we're going to start with 1A. That says the insect has wings. It even said that in the description at the top, and it's fairly obvious that it has wings. 1B says the insect does not have wings, so we're going with insect has wings, right? So you go to step 2. Right, so we're jumping down there. 2A says the insect has wings that don't stick out to the side, or 2B, the insect has wings that stick out to the side. They look like they stick out to the side, so that's one we would choose. It says go to step 4. 4A says the insect has a total of 4 wings. 4B says the insect does not have a total of 4 wings. I count 4 wings there, so it says go to step 5. 5A says the insect has a long antenna. 5B says the insect does not have a long antenna. I don't see long antenna on there. There's tiny ones. It's not a great picture, but you can see tiny little antenna. It's definitely not long antenna. There's your answer. It is the order Odonata. That's what you typed in. That's what you should have typed in on your answer box there. That's the order of insects that has dragonflies and damselflies. All right, the next one was actually a star question. It says a student examines the winged insect shown below. Based on the dichotomous key, in what order should this insect be classified? So again, with another order of insects, 1A says insect has an extremely long prothorax, that's the neck. 1B says insect has a short or no prothorax, and I don't see a prothorax on that insect. It's like head, then thorax, and abdomen, that's it. There's not much of a neck there, so we're going with that one. And then it says go to 3. 3A says wings are armor-like with membranous hind wings underneath. 3B says wings are not armor-like. These things that are on top of the beetle are its armor, right? Its outer shell, and it slides those aside and the wing comes out from underneath. So it says like armor-like with membranous hind wings. Those are the wings coming out here. Those are the hind wings, kind of like a membrane. That's why they said membranous. So definitely this one. Definitely Coleoptera, which is the order that beetles belong to in the insect world. So that's some sort of beetle there. A dichotomous key is shown below. Use the dichotomous key to identify the scientific name of the organism shown below. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different scientific names of organisms there. We just have to key out that what looks like a hammerhead shark, right? 1A, tail fins are horizontal. That would be going like east to west, right? Across. 1B says tail fins are vertical. That's going up and down, north and south. So that's what I see with that tail. So we're going to 3. 3A has gill slits behind the mouth. 3B has no gill slits. Even if you have trouble seeing those, which is not the greatest picture, they're labeled. So it says gill slits, so we know it has them. All right, so then we're going to 5. 5A says head is hammer-shaped, which I see. And then 5B says tail fins are half the body length, which they're not. So I think we've solved this one. The species is Sphaerna mocharon, and Sphaerna probably has something to do with the shape of its head. There's probably different species of hammerhead sharks with that same genus. All right, the next one also shows a shark. A fisherman caught the organism shown in the picture below and wanted to figure out what class of organisms it belonged to. The class is going even less specific than an order, so we're really breaking it down at the basic level here. And 1A says the organism has feathers, and if it did, it would say class Aves, that's all birds. 1B says the organism has no feathers. I don't see feathers on that one, so we're going with that. It says go to 2. 2A says the organism has no hair. 2B says the organism has hair or hair-like structures. I don't see hair on that organism. All right, so we're going to 3. 3A says the organism has gills. 3B, the organism has lungs. And we know that sharks are fish and they use gills. You can even see the gill slits. So we're going with that one. Class Chondrichthyes. The last part of that word, ichthyes, refers to fish in Latin. Chondrichthyes refers to all the fish that have cartilage instead of bone. That's cartilaginous fish, like sharks, and even rays. They're close cousins of the shark. All right, this was a plant key. It says some students collected leaf samples. The students used the leaf identification key shown below to identify a leaf sample. So based on the key, which type of tree is the sample from? 1A says simple leaf, that's a single leaf. 1B says compound leaf, those are leaves grouped on a stem. These are leaves that are grouped on a stem here. They're even all coming from the same point on the stem. They're radiating out from the same point on that stem. So that's a compound leaf with groups of leaflets, actually. So there you go. I'm going to 5. We're going to be able to figure this one out here. 5A says leaves arranged like a fan. And that would be the horse chestnut, or leaves directly opposite on the stem. That would be the honey locust. I think if you look at it from the perspective of, say, like a ceiling fan, kind of reminds you of that. Although, you know, this one might be moved over a little, but I mean, they're basically in a range like that. Or if you think of one of those old style fans that like a servant used to fan a king or queen while they were sitting at their throne, that kind of looks like that too. So horse chestnut, there's the name of the plant or tree that those leaves belong to. I'll show you what the leaves directly opposite on stem means. There's a picture of them right there. So that's a honey locust, and you can see leaves directly opposite on stem. All the way along that stem, the leaves are opposite each other, all the way to the last one. It's by itself at the top. This whole structure here is one leaf. Those are all leaflets. That's a compound leaf. That's another example of a compound leaf. And so leaf directly opposite on stem. You could see that on a test in the future, so I thought I would show you that one too. And then the last one, based on the key, place the check mark next to the fish that is most likely a bluegill. So this one's a little different because you're having to deal with more than one specimen. So it's a little bit trickier, but it's still not too difficult. So 1A says whisker-like barbels present on head next to mouth. So it says go to 2. I see one that has whiskers here. Right? This fish right here. 2 says tail fin is forked. 2A. 2B says tail fin is rounded. And it looks like a forked tail where it goes in and out there at the end. It's definitely not rounded. That's a catfish. And they're called catfish because of the whiskers. Right? So we figured out what that one is. Now we have the 3 left. So since it wasn't that one, we're going to go with this, no whiskers present on head next to mouth. So we're going to go to 3. Mouth located on ventral surface of the head. That means underneath the head. Or mouth located on not located on ventral surface of the head. So 3A is actually something like the catfish would be, with the mouth underneath. 3B is the others that we see here, with the mouth at the front of the head, like you see on these other fish. So there you go. Now we're going to 5. The body long and thin, more than twice as long as the tail. That could be either one of these. I think this one looks more like a trout to me. But the body rounded, which is like this, approximately twice as long as the tail. So here's the tail length here. You double that, it's about twice as long. There's our bluegill. And if you could see that picture in color, you'd see that that little dot right there is blue. That's why they call it a bluegill, because it's right on the spot where the gills would be, right over that operculum, the covering of the gills. Pretty common little fish in lakes and ponds around Texas, and you might know where they were I think it's still important to go through the key the correct way. All right, make sure you checked yours on the notes, and if you haven't done them, go through them and make sure you do those because that's going to help you with the assignments I'm going to be giving you this week.